this is.
Joy Behar was trying to say that I believe in dragons.
Wait, what is this? I just heard about it.
I checked it.
And the lady goes, did you double check this?
She goes, I checked it. He believes in dragons.
Should be like
you think they lived
Sasquatch,
alongside of
bitch.
people?
Basically, to this guy, Joe Rogan, who believes in dragons. I checked it. He believes in dragons? He believes in dragons.
This is the most important part. This is right after she was saying, we are run by ABC News. You should trust us, not Joe Rogan, who believes in dragons. So she
What?
by saying we should trust them because they're double checked by ABC News, and then making the stupidest statement.
I had to read the thing about The View because I just thought it was funny.
What's
That's
The
the
View?
only reason why I read
Dragon.
that about me.
Dragon
View?
lover.
All right, tell me
Joy
what this is.
Behar was trying to say that I believe in dragons.
Wait, what is this? I just
She
heard
said,
about
I
it.
checked it. I checked it.
And the lady goes, did you double check this?
She goes, I checked it. He believes in dragons.
Should be like
you think they lived
Sasquatch,
alongside
bitch.
of people?
Wait,
It was from a wildlife biologist who came on my podcast. It was from Forrest Gallant.
I think she came into it with an agenda.
Of course.
You know.
They do everything with an agenda.
Yeah.
You know.
Joe Rogan just lit up Joy Behar in The View in a way that's still echoing across the internet. After Behar took a jab at Rogan on national television, mocking him for allegedly believing in dragons, Rogan didn't just respond. He obliterated the argument with brutal wit and his trademark directness. In true Rogan fashion, he clapped back with a mic drop that left legacy media spinning.
The real fans of The View that are like, oh, these ladies are on point. Most of those people can't leave the house. Like, they're probably immobile. It's a very strange show, but it's fun to watch. It's just fun to watch them. There's a couple of the other ones. Don't have to name any names. They're just very dull-minded.
This wasn't just a spicy media spat, it became a viral moment. Millions watched clips on X, formerly Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube, as Rogan mocked Behar's outdated takes and used the controversy to highlight the growing distrust of corporate media. His supporters were quick to label it as a win for common sense, while critics accused him of fanning the flames of misinformation. And whether you love him or hate him, one thing is clear: Joe Rogan knows how to take a hit and hit back harder.
That's why people like our show, because they know that we are checked by ABC News. But
We're checked by everybody.
Yeah, I mean, if we're wrong, we have, the legal note here.
The human legal.
But we went from Walter Cronkite, basically, to this guy, Joe Rogan, who believes in dragons. I checked it. He believes in dragons? He believes in dragons.
Did you triple source that?
Yes, I did. And he also thinks that dragons, like dinosaur-y type of animals, roam the earth when people did.
The drama is more than entertainment. It's a case study in how media power is shifting away from traditional networks like ABC and toward independent, unfiltered platforms like Rogan's. So how did this even start? On a recent episode of The View, Joy Behar was lamenting the good old days of media integrity, name-dropping icons like Walter Cronkite, before pivoting to criticize modern content creators. Her target? Joe Rogan. She sarcastically accused him of spreading misinformation and told her audience that Rogan believes in dragons. Yep, dragons. The comment was part of a broader conversation on where young people get their news, and the role influencers and podcasters now play in shaping public opinion. Behar claimed this shift was a symptom of a misinformed generation and framed Rogan as the poster child for pseudoscience and conspiracy thinking. She laughed. The audience laughed. But Rogan's fans? Not so much. What Behar seemed to miss is that Joe Rogan isn't just a comedian or fight commentator anymore. He's a media ecosystem unto himself. With a global audience and Spotify backing, Rogan reaches millions every week. And when someone like Behar takes a swing at him on TV, she's not punching down. She's swinging at one of the most influential voices in the country. The central clash here isn't really about dragons, it's about who gets to control the narrative. Behar and her co-hosts represent a legacy media format where opinions are polished, often predictable, and geared toward a loyal daytime TV audience. Rogan, on the other hand, is raw, unfiltered, and says exactly what he thinks, even if it's controversial. The real problem? Behar's criticism wasn't even rooted in a full understanding of what Rogan had said. On a past episode of the Joe Rogan Experience, he and a guest speculated on ancient myths and the origins of dragon folklore. It was a half-serious, speculative conversation about mythology, not a literal belief in flying, fire-breathing beasts. Behar, knowingly or not, took it wildly out of context. This misrepresentation triggered a wave of backlash. Rogan fans, and even some of his critics, called out the intellectual dishonesty. It raised questions about how The View and similar shows portray non-traditional media figures. Was this a genuine critique of misinformation, or just another case of media elites punching down at someone they can't control? Let's zoom out. Joe Rogan has become a lightning rod in modern media discourse, not because he's perfect, but because he's powerful in a way that legacy media finds threatening. From COVID controversies to cultural commentary, he gives airtime to voices both celebrated and controversial. And while he's certainly stumbled, many believe he's doing what legacy media won't: talking to everyone, not just those who fit a specific narrative. Joy Behar, on the other hand, has spent over 2 decades on The View as a liberal firebrand, frequently clashing with conservatives and stirring up headlines. While she has a loyal following, her critiques often echo the sentiments of a media bubble increasingly out of touch with younger, digitally native audiences. Her jab at Rogan is part of a larger pattern: traditional media dismissing new voices instead of trying to understand why they resonate. The irony is this: Rogan's popularity surged because people stopped trusting figures like Behar. In an era of overproduced talking points and sanitized conversations, Rogan's open-ended, often messy interviews feel more honest to many. That doesn't mean he's always right, but it does mean he's earned the trust of an audience who would rather hear unfiltered truth than curated spin. The turning point came when Rogan fired back. First subtly, then full force. He updated his social media bio to read Dragon Believer, leaning into the joke and exposing how ridiculous Behar's accusation was. On his podcast, he doubled down, saying, "This is what they do. They pull a clip from a 3-hour conversation, take the weirdest line, and run it like it's gospel." That one statement cut deep. Not only was Rogan defending himself, he was calling out a pattern: how mainstream outlets distort quotes, flatten nuance, and then feign outrage. He wasn't just responding to Behar, he was speaking to millions who've grown tired of the same media tactics. The clip of that moment exploded on social media. Memes flooded Twitter. Conservative commentators cheered it as a takedown of the decade. Even some centrists chimed in, admitting that while Rogan isn't always right, Behar's attack came off as petty and uninformed. This wasn't just a podcast moment, it was a cultural pivot point that exposed the deepening rift between old media and new. At its core, this clash was never about dragons. It was about dominance in the public discourse. Joy Behar, representing the establishment, took aim at a media figure who's fundamentally changed how people engage with news, politics, and culture. Joe Rogan responded not with outrage, but with sarcasm, strategy, and a little bit of swagger. Public reaction leaned heavily in Rogan's favor. Online polls, YouTube comment sections, and Twitter threads were overwhelmingly critical of The View's take. And this wasn't just from his diehard fans. This was from everyday viewers who feel gaslit by mainstream media. The message was clear: if you're going to throw punches, make sure they land. More than anything, this moment proved that credibility isn't inherited anymore. It's earned, and Joe Rogan, whether you like him or not, has earned it in a way that Joy Behar and her peers no longer can. That's not just a media moment, that's a paradigm shift. So, what do you think? Did Joe Rogan handle it like a boss, or was this just another pointless feud between media egos? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Seriously, we read everyone. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss a breakdown of the culture wars shaking up your screen.